Good afternoon everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. Lots of people in the live chat already, good to see it, very active. And Edinburgh Airport here, Pyreegue Dev Co's fantastic Edinburgh Airport is looking pretty busy as well. Lots of us off to the sunny island of Menorca today. It looks like we're going to be crossing a lot of cross the land traffic as well, because that massive event on VATSIM's taking place today, which sadly I can't take part in because I'm at work later on a night shift, so the timings don't really work out for me. Welcome to all of you. Lots of members in the live chat as well. MPS Gaming, good afternoon. Mikhail, hello, no worries at all, buddy. Badger, David, howdy, and everyone else, welcome on board. Make sure you hit like and subscribe down below if you've not done so already. And come and say hello in the live chat. We've got the new Simwings Menorca Airport scenery to enjoy today, and we're flying that Jet2.com livery, their sort of normal livery if you like, here from Pyreegue Dev Co Edinburgh to the new Simwings Menorca, which is available on Aerosoft. All the links are in the description for everything today as well, so if you do fancy a bit of the scenery that we've showcased today, or indeed the PMDG 737-800, which I can highly recommend, then all the links are going to be in the live stream description. Neil, hello buddy. David A, good morning as well. VATSIM is chock-a-block today. The servers are struggling, and because of that we are on the East Coast USA VATSIM server, because Amsterdam, UK and Germany servers are all completely full. Crazy, right? Fritz, hello. John, welcome. So we're tight for time today. We're up against it. I can't be late for work, of course. And our routing today is going to take us around about 2 hours, 40 odd minutes or so, approximately. And we're almost done with all of our sort of pre-flight prep anyway, to be honest. We've got the Luke Air tool giving us our cabin announcements. And we've got the fantastic DamoDesign's Jet2.com livery with a custom cabin. I mean, look how good that is. And again, this is linked in the description as well. There's this version and also the Jet2 Holidays version for the PMDG 737-800. Automated, good morning. Okie dokie, let's have a look at Navigraph then. So we're going to depart Edinburgh Airport on runway 06, so we're going to head initially 044 degrees after departure out over the water, and then left turn over the is it the Firth Bridge, can't remember what it's called now, up to 6,000 feet, and then at Cumbo here with the little 1 exclamation mark speech bubble. That basically says that for this particular type of departure we can, when we have ATC, expect to have to cross Cumbo on the Gosen 1 Delta at or above flight level 100. So the ceiling is 6,000 here, but we might have to continue climb up to at or above flight level 100 by Cumbo, and then we're going to get to 17 DME from the Gull VOR and then turn left 217 degrees towards Trent, I think. Or a TRN, not sure what that one is. And then we're going to be heading out over the UK. If we go to the world map here, or the overview if you like, over Fenwick, and then we're going to head Dean Cross between Manchester Airport and Liverpool, but more so over Manchester, and then heading overhead Birmingham Airport before heading over RAF Benson, just past London Gatwick, as we then leave the coast of the UK at Shoreham. Over French airspace for a little while, passing through Paris's FIR into Bordeaux's airspace, and then into Barcelona radar. Barcelona's just on the sort of left screen there where the little purple blip is. We're going to be heading north of that slightly over the Mediterranean towards the Balearic Island of Menorca. And for that we're going to be expecting the ILS Yankee runway 19 approach via Donav and the Sargo 4 Foxtrot arrival. Flight level 350 for our cruise today, and we're not expecting too much difficulty with wind and that sort of thing either. And we've got tower online, fantastic. Thank you, Adam. Finish 1009, information Charlie. So let's pop over to him. 1187. Edinburgh Tower, good afternoon, Chanex 79 Echo, stand 12 with information Charlie on board, Boeing 737-800, request IFR clearance to Menorca, please.
Chanex 79 Echo, Edinburgh Tower, hello, cleared Menorca, go someone down to departure school 5231.
Cleared Menorca, go Sam 1 Delta, departure, school 5231, Chanex 79 Echo.
Chanex 79 Echo, read back correct.
5231. There we are. So one thing we've done here in the nav is tuned in 1154, and that is the GOW VOR, course of 257 degrees there, and effectively we're going to work to intercept that in a little while, shortly after our departure. Just GSX work now, Galaxy's asking. Yeah, in most cases yes. Again, it depends on the profiles and everything else, but otherwise it is very, very good. Parking brake sets. Forgot that bit. We've done all the warning signs, yaw damper electric hydraulic pumps, all on the overhead panel there. And we're on APU power. So what we can do is get rid of our ground equipment.
Apologies for that. We're gate 18, information Sierra on board.
And there's our departure speeds. 142 knots for V1, rotating at 145 knots, and V2 at 150 knots. V2 plus 10 of 160. Trim set, and we're going to depart flap 5. And we're going to use the PMDG pushback today. Packs are on auto at the moment, isolation valve is already open, we've just got our clearance with altimeter set 1009. Brad Delamont, hello to you, good evening in Australia. Fueling, loading, boarding complete, takeoff data set, cruise altitude pressure panel, and the landing altitude pressure panel is set. 350 and 150 for our landing altitude as well. MCP is set, initial climb 6,000, we're going to turn 044 degrees after takeoff, and there's our V2 plus 10. Radio's frequency set, we're on tower, and then the standby is Unicorn.
737-800, got information, Delta, with clearance to... this is not going well today. Menorca.
It's all fine.
No problem, right there, 6267 Edinburgh Tower. Good afternoon, cleared Menorca, go someone down to departure, runway 06, port 7655.
Pushback's going to be interesting for us.
Roger that, clear to Menorca.
We're going to want the tail to head off as we're looking at it to the left. It's going to be tail right from the perspective of the pilot, I think, from memory. So I might get it completely wrong again.
I can hear myself a few minutes later and it's winding me up. No problem, read back correct.
Nordic 1771 with information Delta, QNH 1009, requesting airport clearance.
Hi Sim, good afternoon.
And Boeing 7678.
Ski 1771 Edinburgh Tower, hello, cleared Menorca, go someone Delta departure squawk 0520.
Live info isn't showing. Let me refresh it.
1 Delta, squawk 0530.
Ski 1771 negative squawk 0520.
79 Echo. Jan, good question. I'm trying. Well, we've done boarding with GSX already, and then I've cut the process basically because I want to use the PMDG pushback instead today, just to try and get used to this a bit better. Turn nose to the left, I think. From the perspective of the pilot, the nose needs to go left, which would be that way.
Nordic 1771, talk 05.
We'll have that GSX on our arrival as well. So we'll deboard the aircraft at the end in Menorca. And we've downloaded a
520.
custom Simwings Menorca profile for GSX as well. Channel 79 Echo is fully ready, request push and start.
Channel 79 Echo, push and start to pre-face east.
Push start east, Channel 79 Echo.
Alright, now 459, already for push and start.
Ryanair 459, stand for push start pre.
In the Navy, Nordic 1771, little clipping push and start.
Good to ground. Go ahead.
Nordic 1771, are you able to push north into the Echo?
Tail to the right.
Yes, that will work. Nordic
Push tail right. Heavy sprint
In that case,
I hope I've got this right.
1771, stand 7, push start pre-face north.
Pushback over face north, and Nordic 17.
Sam, yeah, still use GSX. Right, okay, packs need to go off. Check the isolation valves auto, APU's on bleed, and all that is all ready to go as well. That's looking quite nice. Pumps are all on as required as well. We're going to go engine start number 2. Watching the N2. I hope I've got the pushback set up correctly here, folks. If not, we're gonna keep an eye on the direction of travel of the nose as well whilst we're doing startup. Cruise 20. Let's go to the engine control to run. Yes, we've done it. Although it's looking a bit tighter than I'd have hoped. It's probably not going as well as I would have hoped either. Just going to go to self-drive tug.
And all stations on the ground at Edinburgh. Edinburgh ground is now online 121.750.
Just trying to work out the steering mechanisms of this. For goodness sake, I hate this pushback system with a passion. This happened last time as well, didn't it? And somebody else said that they were finding it almost impossible to try and steer the pushback tug. It would be so bad if you could actually see the wheels turn on it. Blue, because I had GSX, I abandoned full-bar pushback, and also because Phoenix kept moaning about it. Oh, for goodness sake, I hate this. This pushback system is so bad. Right, let's go to here. I'm going to try and be a bit sneaky with this, folks. Straight out, standard out, turn nose left. We're going to cycle the tug. And then we're going to start the tug again.
Go ahead.
And that hopefully, being sneaky, has reset the distance up to the centre line there. Probably hasn't, let's face it. Go ignition mode ground.
Push tail to the right. Parking brakes release, please.
And we've got to go to ground as well now, 12175. I'm probably going to end up hitting the TUI, let's face it. But it looks like there's nothing we can do, and I actually kind of wish I was using the GSX pushback now.
Brakes released, here we go.
Okay, we might have saved it there. Yeah, the first tug broke, so we've just had to disconnect and replace the tug. Engine 1 to run. This is looking a little bit neater, isn't it? It's still not perfect, but I'll take it, let's face it. That'll do. I'm going to stop it there because it's doing some weird stuff. Let's get rid of the tug. Chocks removed. Wow, I'm inclined not to use that again. Engines 1 and 2 are good. Let's pop those onto continuous. We've got to get Gen 1 and 2. In the overhead, pop those on. We're going to check Gen 1 and 2 generating power. Little cursory look at the overhead, nice and quick as well. Bows on winter heat. That's all good. That's flicked back to auto for the voice recorder. Icing's not required at the moment. Let's pop the packs back on isolation valve automatic, and we're going to change the bleeds to the engine. And we can pop the APU off. Taxi lights can go on. That's on all RTO, and we can go on VNAV. Auto thrust arms. Flight directors are already on. And we'll do a little warning recall there as well. Edinburgh ground, good afternoon. Channel 79 Echoes just pushed 12 request taxi. Let's see, I've got the wrong frequency, haven't I? There we are. Be flat 5. Edinburgh ground, good afternoon. Channel 79 Echo, request taxi, stand 12.
Channel 79 Echo, taxi, holding point Alpha 1, runway 06, via Alpha.
Taxi, hold point Alpha 1, runway 06 via Alpha, Channel 79 Echo. Recognise that voice. Oh, Tom, thank you. Our brakes are off.
441 taxi, holding point Alpha 15 via...
Welcome on board, and thanks for flying with Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays.
We're nearly ready for takeoff, but first, please make sure your mobile phones, tablets, and other electronic devices are in flight mode, fully switched off, and safely put away in your hand luggage.
This is because you're not allowed to use them until after takeoff. When the seatbelt signs are switched off,
You see my rudder pedals are very insensitive at the moment, so I'm just going to use the turns to try and force the sim to remember the
If your device becomes damaged or hot,
sensitivity settings we've got set there.
seat or aircraft, you need to tell us immediately.
smoking and the use of e-cigarettes is not allowed. For your safety, please follow all instructions in cabin safety signage. We'd also just like to tell you about our friendly On-Board Together policy. We've created it to protect you and our cabin crew from any unfortunate antisocial behaviour. That way, we can make sure everyone on board today has a great flight.
As part of this, please remember that you can only drink alcohol that's served by our cabin crew. If you bought alcohol in the terminal, you cannot drink it on board. We want all our customers to enjoy being on board together. Please now make sure any hand luggage is safely put away and your seatbelt is fastened ahead of takeoff.
Romeo, stand 8, fishing starts.
Must be annoying for the Chanex at stand 8 because the Ryanair's plonked itself on top of him. And he was there for about 20 minutes beforehand, which is not ideal. Not good drills on VATSIM to whoever that Ryanair is.
Alpha, hold Alpha 1, Nordic 17.
Edinburgh.
Operate 71 Alpha Golf, cleared Menorca, go on 1 Delta, runway 06, squawk 6356, QNH 1009.
Wind 040 degrees at 10 knots for our takeoff. So a little bit of a headwind, predominantly a headwind.
Operate 71 Alpha Golf, be back direct.
Joe, good afternoon. Faris, hello to you.
And Warbird 2441, continue taxi via Alpha, hold Alpha 13.
Continue taxi to Alpha 13, walk to the
Ryanair 459 behind, correction after the Norwegian Boeing 737-700, taxi from right to left on Alpha.
Taxi lights, yeah, well, that's like the old checks. We've already done our checks for the nav data and radios. We've got one aircraft inbound here at Edinburgh, just about to land. Blue, correct, yeah. But that's very much the case for most airlines.
Osprey 71 Alpha Golf, stand 25, push inside approved.
Push inside approved, Osprey 71 Alpha Golf.
Ryanair 6267, ready taxi. Ryanair 6267, roger, taxi via Lima and Alpha, hold Alpha 13.
Taxi via Lima, Alpha, hold Alpha 13. Ryanair 6267.
And Mocha 2441, continue taxi via Alpha, hold Alpha 1,
Continue to Alpha 1, walk to Alpha 1.
10x79 Echo, contact Tower 118.7, bye-bye.
Tower 118.7, Channel 79 Echo, thanks, have a good day.
Good afternoon.
Edinburgh Tower, good afternoon, Channel 79 Echoes on Alpha, ready for departure.
Select 79 Echo, Edinburgh Tower, hello again, flight Alpha 1, certain 03 degrees, 8 knots, runway 06, clear takeoff.
For Alpha 1, runway 06, clear of takeoff, Channel 79 Echo. Pop all these on.
Ryanair 484, contact Manchester, correction.
Final check.
Edinburgh ground 1C1.4750, bye-bye.
Once you're out, contact sir, have a good day.
See ya.
Final call for the crew. Give the old cabin crew for seats for takeoff call. We're looking all the way down on the approach just to see if anybody starts to come. We've been cleared early basically, but the controller can see on his radar client further back as to whether or not we are going to have any issues with aircraft on final.
Hold Alpha 1.
So, strobes all good. We've done TFC, traffic mode, terrain mode, and mode Charlie. Auto brakes and RTO. Some little micro stutters today, interestingly
Hello,
enough.
behind the departing Jet 737-800.
Runway 06 is confirmed.
Runway 06 behind.
And we are ready for takeoff.
Behind line up and wait.
We're going to do a rolling departure. We're going to keep the speed that we've got. So just as we start to line up now, going to increase the M1 to 40%. Make sure the nose wheel's nice and straight, push forward on the stick. T's P's, not T's P's, but engine's looking stable, and we're going to go to Toga. The Airbus, so the PA-28 coming out there.
Walker C441, Edinburgh Tower, hello, hold up 1.
Hold Alpha 1, walk to Alpha 1.
Easing off on the nose wheel pressure. End of the runway is coming up very fast. Rotates. Careful of the tail strike. There we are, and there's the call. Gear up. Yeah, I don't tend to do clock because I remember the Airbus used to have significant memory leak issues. For that reason, I avoid it. Go Cindy A.
79 Echo, nothing further I'm afraid. Monitor Unicom 122.8, see you later.
Unicom 1228, Channel 79 Echo, thanks. Away we go. Go Sun 1 Delta departure out of Edinburgh, away from the city. A slight offset departure there as well, going through flat retraction speeds. Let's get those away and make sure the gear goes off. Check those are off, and we can pop those off as well. Might as well turn the logo light off while we're here as well. And that is all of our checks complete effectively. We can go 1228 onto Unicom, and we're going to keep following the turn. Green dashed line there is the course from the VOR that we're going to be inbound for this section of the departure, the SID. And we'll set 12 for now, just see how we go. Yeah, it's just a habit, Kevo, because of the previous history of the past, so I tend to just ignore the clock element of any checklist, to be totally honest. There's the fourth bridge. And we should be passing a naval station down here. Can't quite see it. Oh well, maybe it's not there today. There we go. First time checking out Menorca, and by all accounts the GSX profile for it should be very good. Dan, that's good to know, that's good to know. Two hours 30-ish, Paul, roughly? Approximately, he says. Let's check our cabin pressure. Is pressurising normally. Okay. We'll get past Gonzo. Which is a flight level at sort of at 6,000.
Nordic 1771 is at 3,000 feet, climbing 350.
And then we should be able to continue climb up to 12 at that point as well. So it's VNAV helping us up in the SID, keeping on the profile. Squawk 76, hello Dan, good afternoon. Gary's asking, what does the landing gear lever do by putting it in the off position as opposed to leaving it in the up position? So if it stays in the up position, it's a good question. What's happening is the hydraulics are constantly trying to make sure that the gear is up. So yeah, basically you can end up with hydraulic issues or quicker wear of the system. You turn it to off once the gear's up and locked, put the gear system to off and it isolates the hydraulics. It just switches it all off basically. Up we go. I'm going to set 3.5, why not? We haven't got Scottish radar on. It's got orange. We go to standard pressure now. Jan, is that recently? Is that particularly a new incident, or was that the one where the instructor passed out? That one, I'm still convinced, folks, was staged. If you're enjoying today's live stream, hit the like button as well. Squawk. Yeah, well, who knows? We can look forward to it in the next couple of weeks. Adam says he's got the Fenix, but should I get the PMDG 737-800 too? The Fenix is too much like a computer for him. Yes, absolutely. This is very hands-on, a little bit more involved from a pilot's point of view, which then as a simmer, your departures and your arrivals are a lot busier, so I feel like you get a lot more back from 737. As you're saying there, the Fenix being Airbus just feels like it's autopilot one on and then hands off. That's it. may. I'm not sure, to be honest. I wonder if it's the one where the instructor passed out or had a heart attack or something, became unconscious, and then the student landed, but or the friend of the guy that took him flying landed the aeroplane. But I'm not convinced that was a real thing, I'm afraid. There's a lot of fake stuff all over the internet these days. Poseidon, so the ones that I've tweaked, I've not had to. Then I don't install anything through the marketplace. I think if you install through the marketplace, you might have to do some extra work because of the way it's encrypted. Then I'm not too tech savvy about that sort of thing. Also, do you think the 900 variant will be cheaper than the 800 variant? I'm really not sure. I wouldn't like to sort of throw a guess down, but I'd probably, if I was to hazard a guess, I'd probably say maybe a tiny bit cheaper. I don't know. It's difficult to work out. It depends entirely on how much work they've had to put into it as well, of course, because development has a cost associated with the man hours involved. Andrew, hello. Mikhail says away in the rain on Microsoft Flight Simulator's live weather in Edinburgh. Interesting. The METAR for me was clear. Yeah, view cloud, 3,900 feet. No mention of rain. Very odd. Let's refresh the EGPH, the METAR. No, still none. Dew point's closing in though. The spread's a lot lower now, 17 degrees and plus 15 for the dew point. That was a really weird weather transition by Rex. I don't know if you guys saw that. That looked very rough. And there's some cabin views. Raj, how do you get the PMDG Operations Centre? You get it when you purchase the PMDG 737. It installs as part of the package. Adam, yeah, 100%. Okay, well, you can get timed out already. Shaquille, so I just, on VATSIM, just type into the chat box .metar space and then the airport code, EGPH in this instance, and it will give you the METAR nice and quick. JBay, absolutely. The PMDG's performance is incredible in comparison. I would go as far as saying it get about 10 to 15 frames per second more than the Fenix. It's smoother, more stable, better on the frames. So if you are struggling, you want a payware aircraft that gives you everything, gives you, like, if you like, the complete package, whilst performing very well on whatever computer you might have, this is the go-to. Yes, it's not an Airbus, so it's more difficult to manage, fly. But in reality, it's the best aircraft available at the moment for the sim, in my opinion. Ah, Neil, no worries. Wolf dog, very nice. No other progress on diagnosing the crash to desktop, Andrew, sadly, for me. Weirdly enough, when I spawned in today, I got a crash to desktop as I was spawning into Edinburgh, which was a little bit weird. But we worked around it. Look at that top of that CB there. Interesting. We're using Rex live weather again today just to feed weather in. I'm trying to leave everything as it was the other day so that the sim can be as stable as it was on our previous 2 streams. And yeah, Jaber, as you're saying there, we now have, after the 900 comes, we then have the PMDG Big Birds to look forward to. The 777 and the 747, they're going to be amazing. MPS says there's a lot of clouds at flight level 300 inbound Lakey. Awesome. We should be about 350 there. That must be this whole ridge coming up towards us now that we're approaching. Birdman, no. So if I use CPU, my frames in the Fenix go to about 10. Which is really frustrating, so I can't use CPU mode, so I have to use GPU mode, which is fine. I get much better performance with GPU mode in the Fenix than I do in CPU, but it's still nowhere near what I get with the PMDG. Adam, yeah, you can drive the tug. There's a knack to it. I obviously don't have the right settings set up for it because I have difficulty steering it. But you can drive the PMDG tug in the self-drive mode, yes. Forwards and backwards, left and right, turning around and things. But I'm not the best person for that, as you saw on Pushback today. Pretty rubbish at using that Pushback feature. Oh, well there goes the cloud. Don't know where that's disappeared off to, but hey ho. Wolf Dog, yes, but you're going to be waiting a very long time for that. A lot of people excited for the A380, but it's nowhere near coming soon. So I wouldn't even bother thinking about it, realistically. Performance for me with the Fenix has been by far the most disappointing element to it, which is why I think by contrast this has been so impressive. Mace, hello to you. And yeah, VATSIM Europe is just, all the servers are struggling at the moment. So we've had to connect today. I got disconnected from the UK server because there were too many people connected. So we reconnected to the Amsterdam server, got instantly disconnected from there because there were too many people connected. So I thought, okay, we'll go Germany. So I went to the Germany server, VATSIM, instantly got disconnected because there were too many people connected. And I found myself then connecting to the East US server instead. Raji, no problem. I'm a bit confused as to why you have a copy-paste macro on a live stream, though. Yeah, we discussed on a previous live stream a flight to Larnaca as well. That's going to be in the list of things to do. Ethan says, am I on virtual Chanex? No, I'm not, actually. And to be fair, only just now, virtual TUI, virtual Chanex, virtual Ryanair, they're all now an option because of the PMDG 737-800. You can now join those virtual airlines and fly the schedules and all that sort of thing, which is quite cool. Adam says, I think I'm buying this today. Then you're going to have to let me know how you get on, Adam. Hopefully you're going to absolutely love it. Especially if it's your first PMDG experience too. Check out the website / the PMDG 737 tutorials that I've done on the channel. Make sure you grab my checklist as well, Adam, that you can get for free on flightsim.to. The Hitman. The EFB is coming with the PMDG product soon, but they just need to make sure that it's all okay and working as they expect it. They're looking at adding various features to it to make it really incredible. And very useful as well, very effective inside of it. So, Doc, I am indeed. Very exciting. We're going to be going cross-flow with everybody on Cross the Land. Derby, what's my final verdict on GSX? 70% really like it, 30% get really frustrated by it, if that's probably the best way of describing it. If you give it another maybe 2 months, there might be a couple of bug patches, and there might also be quite a lot of very good custom profiles generated by various people in the community for various airports around the MSFS world. Ethan, yeah, absolutely no idea, sadly. Wouldn't know where to begin with it. Virtual Chanex. I feel like I should probably join that though, but I'm part of Fly UK, of course. Hitman says, I see you everywhere, on all Discord, all forums. It's amazing how active you are. I try to be a good member of the community. Not just somebody that streams on YouTube and then you see me on the stream and then that's it. I'll try to be very active in my own Discord server as well, and sort of be able to try and offer bits other places as well, which is why the GSX, as an example, we created a Pilot Plus profile and the freeware Samos profile for GSX as well, so I could give something back as well. Same reason I've done the 737 checklists and things like that. For Adam, if you've not seen it, Gary, thank you very much, saying the checklist is great. I've been using it for a while now. Yeah, if you've not seen it, it's this. So it covers various parts of your flight: pre-flight, before start checks, engine start checks, and then taxi, pre-departure, takeoff, and then on the second page, so it's kind of intentionally configured as well. So you go onto the second page and it's everything else from after takeoff into arrival. All in nice, easy sort of format, printable format as well, of course. And the other thing you want to do is Google 737-800 QRH, and that will then allow you to get the quick reference handbook should you get a master caution, master warning for any reason. Dog, hello. Commander Shadow says, when will you get round to the Wamosat A330 Manchester to Faro you said you would do at some point? Once I get through the list of things that are in my backlog. The crashes that I had the other week have set me back quite a bit. I'm trying to catch up, and I've got quite a list of things that I'm trying to get through before I start to do various other requests. Dinand, welcome on board. Thanks for joining us as a channel member, Bronze Frigate Flyer. Great to have you with us. Make sure you head over to our Discord server as well, and you link your make sure you link your user account to your YouTube via the integrations on Discord, and it will get you added into the Members Club Lounge in our Discord server too. Doc says he was about to enter the Star, then he got crashed to desktop, been enjoying ATC from Barcelona Centre, Marseille, Milano, Padova, Wien, and just about to change to Bratislava, got crashed to desktop. That's not good. What happened? Dave, great to hear. Fritz, that's not good. What happened? Are you using live services, live weather? Raji, is that for the 737? Because I already have done. Check out the channel. Go to the playlists tab on the British Airgeek channel and look for the PMDG 737 tutorial series there. There's a whole host of things to get you started. The wonderful thing with this aeroplane, the 737, is if you miss anything, if you miss a step, it will give you problems. If you miss pressurization, for example, you're going to get issues, fuel pump issues and everything else. Window heat, anti-ice, it will not look after you. You've got to get it right. TCAS, cross-flow traffic coming on our left. I think they're a little bit further away than we're able to see. Yeah. 20 nautical miles. So they're going to be out of the view. They're heading up towards Edinburgh by the looks of it, over the other side of the Peak District there. Is it the Peak District? I think it might be. Paul says this will also be my first PMDG product that he's purchased. You're going to love it. It's really, really good. And then hopefully you'll see what I mean, all the positive things that I say about it. You'll then sort of see in your own sim how much I enjoy it. Routing today, Absin. We went through it at the start of the stream. We're going over Manchester and Birmingham. Conga Line's airborne. Let's have a little look, and I'll show you guys how mad it all is over Europe at the moment as well. So we go to Valanta. There's us at Lakey. Gone over Lake Windermere and Kendal, home of the mint cake. Good to have the dog back. Wow, got loads of us flying along today. Final one's airborne, I think. Oh, we've still got another one. Ryanair 2205 there. And Universe 804 as well. Who else have we got? I think that is it. So yeah, we've got 2 left to depart, and then we are big old Conga Line heading out to Menorca. But nothing on the UK airspace at the moment, or France for the most part, except for Marseille. We're skirting around to the edge of Marseille centre, and then over the Pyrenees, descent into Barcelona, and you can see now that we've got the very tail end of the cross the land traffic. Unfortunately, the controllers are all logging off. Just tickling the edge of the airspace. It's probably going to be Unicom all the way, but this big line of people here all flying across the land at the moment, that's one of the routes into Cairo from various different airports. If you zoom out, you can kind of draw lines with big blocks of aircraft flying from certain places. Quite cool. Ethan says he still can't get Valanta to connect. He reinstalled the plugin but doesn't show up when I start a flight. That's really weird. You know what, I really don't know what to suggest there. Make sure that you've got, maybe check in Valanta settings, make sure you've got the route, the path to your MSFS folder set in there somehow. Beyond that, I'm not really sure what to suggest to help. Already at cruise. Four tons of fuel at Menorca when we arrive. I won't worry about step climbs or anything like that today. We did those to death over the last couple of days. You want to make sure you've got the SIM Connect thing installed, Ethan. Is that Blackpool? Let's find it. Blackpool. It is Blackpool. Good spot. So very shortly we're going to be over Manchester, Liverpool, that sort of thing. That sort of part of the UK. Heading then south over Birmingham. And Shoreham. Ah, Chronix, hello. Yeah, I think you must have been the one that we saw on TCAS pop up then. About 20 miles to the east. MPS Gaming, we're using Rex today again. I just don't, based on my experience over the last couple of weeks, I just want to run the sim in a nice stable manner, and then from there what we'll do is we'll start to feed things like live weather back in again. I think once the schools will start to go back again, and those of us who don't go to school anymore can enjoy the sim, it might be a bit better on the server. Grayson, hello, welcome, hope you're well. Very well, thanks for asking. Night shift for me tonight. Yardy, hello, going well, thank you. Altmay says the previews I see of live weather in Sim Update 10 look really nice. Is there particular differences or anything to it, or have they just neatened it up, or have they changed it entirely? I haven't really followed the progress of Sim Update 10, to be totally honest. Chronic set Chanix 79 Echo. Liam, hello. Yeah, gifted for a month, I think, from memory. Birdman says, can you just bring up VATSIM radio so I can see the size of the window? I'm actually not using that today. Post all of the issues the other week, I'm just leaving it as it is. So I've taken that out for the time being. And Doc, no, working all weekend next weekend, Friday through to Monday. We look down. Oops, there we are. There's Manchester. Macro Simulations Manchester Airport there, really good. We'll be passing over his Birmingham Airport scenery as well. And there's Honolulu as well, so that's pretty much where Birmingham Airport is, Honolulu. Just off on the nose there. So if we go to, let's see, a dash cam type view, we should actually overfly the runway. Simon says the reason he bought the 737-800 is because of all the routes available in Fly UK. And how are you finding it? It's great, isn't it? Automated says the transitions for real weather or live weather in MSFS Sim Update 10. Transitions and clouds look more realistic, proper lighting and rain seen from a distance. That sounds incredible. Neil, you have to set Volanta to monitor a folder, so as you add a screenshot during the flight, it will recognise it in the folder and go, oh, there's a new one, and then you add it using the Volanta tick box. But I think from memory it requires Volanta Premium for screenshot uploads. I might be wrong. I mean, the weather's looking pretty good at the moment, 254 at 22 knots, and if I look at Honolulu on our Simbury profile, we'll compare to what it's suggested to have been inside our Simbury flight plan. 221 at 40. So not far off different from the forecast. Obviously there's a difference in speed of about 18 knots, but otherwise all very good. Might as well do a fuel check as well. It's actually suggesting we fly at Mach 80 on Simbrief. That's total 8 tons of fuel. Honolulu we should have 7.6. So speed intervention. Let's go to Mach 80. And we can maintain that throughout the rest of the flight, I think, by the looks of it. Certainly on the flight plan. Up to France, then it's telling us we should reduce to Mach 7.9. And go back to our normal, basically. Neil, for me, I just use the Xbox game bar thing, so I do press an old Windows and G, and then it opens up a it opens up like a little overlay, and you click the little camera button, it takes a screenshot. That's how I do it, at least, anyway. Wes says just about to try his first flight in the PMDG 737-800 for MSFS. Flown the Zebo a bunch and watched streams, so sure it'll be fine. Nice. Where are you flying? Where are you going to take it for a first spin? Neil, yeah, you can do that as well. Poseidon saying, how do you know when you have a tail strike? You know what, I'm not sure, I'm yet to have one. I keep meaning to intentionally tail strike just to see what happens. But I think, from what I understand, you should get some sort of pop-up or something to say tail strike somewhere. But I might be wrong. Phase, hello. Yeah, Neil, beyond that, I have no idea how to take a screenshot, sadly. I can't quite see Birmingham here. We're about to fly over it. Let's see if we can get it outside. Already overflown it. Nope, there she is. There's Birmingham. Just off the nose. Mark says with his NVIDIA graphics card he uses Alt plus F1. Nick says, would you recommend the Rex Weather Force mod? It's good when live weather breaks, but I don't think it's necessary. If live weather's working nicely, you don't need it. And I still stick by that. I purchased it the other week because on Just Flight it was nice and cheap, and all the live services were very broken, causing crash to desktops and things, and that for me was one of the key ways to solve the issues that I was experiencing. But for most people, most of the time now, live weather's absolutely fine again. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't necessarily purchase it. But if you do want to purchase it at the moment, if you go to the Just Flight website, it's the cheapest in comparison to anyone else for Rex Live Weather. Rex Weather Pro, I think it's called. Ah, there's a nice little reminder. Almost going empty on the fuel top pumps in the centre as well, so might as well isolate that one. Steve, no, this is the DamoDesign one. The one that's linked in the description. It has just been updated over the last couple of days. Yeah, MPS Gaming. So you go to the Just Flight website, where it's the cheapest available for Rex at the moment. By about £5, I think it is, £5 or so cheaper than anywhere else online. And on top of that, there is now also a 30% Rex sale on as well. Well worth getting. In that sense, because let's if I punch it in, actually we'll go to the Just Flight website and I'll tell you exactly how much it is now. Adam, yeah, the sounds are fantastic in the PMDG. Yeah, I've only really purchased, as Badger's saying there, he's only really purchased Rex like I have as a backup effectively. Let's see. Search for Rex. Rex Weather Force 2020, and it's okay. There you go. So usually it's $14.99 on Just Flight, but at the moment with a sale, it's £10.49. Really good as a backup, really, if you want to spend the money on it. Like some guy says, he's got the aircraft as well, and it does not disappoint. Mushi, hello to you in Israel, welcome. And Poseidon's flying Santorini to Stansted, fly UK. Very nice route, really nice route actually. Yeah, perhaps we'll do that in the near future. I want to do Skiathos again in it, or Mykonos, that sort of thing. Keep it challenging with the Greek islands. Neil, very nice. What's your cruise, Neil? Flight level 70. Yeah, MPS Gaming. So percentages are a bit of a marketing trick. Don't fall for it. Have a look at the actual overall price. So if I go to flightsim.co now, bear in mind we just said how much is it on justflight.com? £10.49 for Rex Live Weather. Now let me find it on flightsim.to, and we'll compare the price. Trying to find it on flightsim.to, but can't. Oh, Floyd Epic Clouds has just been updated. I can't find it at all on flightsim.to. Oh, but I found accuracies in it and Rex real global airport textures, but I don't think we want those. Special promotions. Let's have a look here. Got to be here somewhere. Why do they make it so difficult? No, so they don't sell it on FlightSim.to, MPS Gaming. They sell their other products. But again, I find FlightSim.to quite expensive in comparison, really. You look at Just Flight, the price differences are huge in comparison. So if you're going to buy Rex, only get it from justflight.com because it's a lot cheaper than most places, even during the discounts, because the 30% off is across the board, across all of the different websites where they sell it. So if it's £20 in one place, it's 30% off there. On Just Flight, it's $14.99 and it's 30% off there. Oh, John, that's frustrating. Barish, yeah, so that's what I tend to usually do. Usually I'll use Floyd Clouds and then run live weather, MSFS live weather. It tends to sort of work quite nicely. Nick, no. Edinburgh to Menorca, Nick. Barish saying Rex supposedly is more updated than default live weather. Not sure it's true or not. Hence that's why we have more clouds than Luke, because the default was a bit delayed. Yeah, interesting. It'd be interesting to see how it all works, to be honest. Exactly, Badger. So on Sim Market, it's €15.85, but it's 10 quid on Just Flight, so about £5 difference. Adam, it's a program which injects weather into the flight sim, basically. So if you don't want to use the live weather or live weather breaks, like if it's Sim Update 5, like it did a couple of weeks back, you can use that as a backup. There used to be a freeware one called unrealweather.blogspot.com we used all the time. For those of you who have been on board the channel for quite a long time, you'll remember that. That's that broke around a year ago and they've not updated it, which is rather sad. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the cloud textures and things with Sim Update 10 as well, whether they've managed to reduce the pixelation effect that we tend to get. Barris, no, so when I toggle live weather with a Floyd preset, I don't, obviously as you're saying there, you toggle live weather, but I think what it does is it still adds in its own textures, I think. I'm not sure, because everybody always says your clouds look different. The only thing that I have different is Floyd weather installed, Floyd clouds installed. We just saw there that have been updated to version 1.4, so I might download that and enjoy that over the next few days. We'll see what that looks like. MPS Gaming, yeah, Just Flight's good. So when you purchase, say, Rex, you get 10 points or 100 points or something. And you can use that to then discount your next purchase. So it helps you save a little bit of cash. When is Sim Update 10 coming? Does anybody know? Because it's coming coming soon, isn't it? Is it this week? This coming Thursday, perhaps? There's an interesting bit of news. So London, basically London already has 6 airports. London Luton, which is in Luton, not London. London Stansted, which is in Essex, not London. London Gatwick, London Heathrow, London City. Manston Airport. And the Isle of Thanet in Kent has just had it been approved for that airport to now become London Manston Airport to operate cargo in a big redevelopment. Nick says about a week. Jobo says they've not announced a firm time yet. Yeah, I mean they tend to come around Fridays, Thursdays, don't they? So fingers crossed it's going to be this Thursday. Silence says 4 hours to the Artemis launch. Awesome. So we know what we'll all be watching after this stream ends then, as I'm heading out to work. EDB says he 100% knows the 40th anniversary update will be the 11th of November. New boy, yes, that's the one. The old World War II airfield, RF Manston. Oh, nice, yeah. No, apparently it's coming back. They want to redevelop it and have cargo flights operating from 2025. And then they're trying to apparently entice EasyJet, Ryanair and EasyJet. Oh no, EasyJet, Ryanair and KLM into the new London Manston as it will be known, which will be in Kent. London Manston in Kent. I don't understand this obsession with airports asking to or trying to get the word London put into the name when they're not actually in London. London Gatwick, for example, in Sussex. Ooh, that's rather close. Where'd he go? We've got somebody right on us. According to TCAS. That looks pretty cool. That is a screenshot. Where's that TCAS alert? It's there. 5:10. Okay, maybe he's not as close as we thought then. Oh, he's behind us. Okay, well, actually, yeah, he's 10 miles out. And level. Nope, can't see him. Oh well. London Denham, yeah, actually... I think it is London Denham Aerodrome. Perhaps not. You've got London Biggin Hill as well, haven't you? I think. What's the 6th? London Luton, London... Oh, London... Yeah, London Luton, London Stansted, London Gatwick, London Heathrow, London City Airport. What's the 6th? London City. Is it London Farnborough? It just sounds silly, doesn't it? I don't get it. Oh, hello. Fresh from the Tesco Stampedes. Very nice. Good to see you survived. Good afternoon to you. John likes a bit of mayhem. We are on VATSIM, Adam, yes. Ethan, to be honest, I think we're unlikely to get any because of cross the land happening at the moment. I think a lot of controllers, Eurocontrol-esque sort of areas, are all being absorbed into various roles. 50 likes, thanks folks. That should be the south coast, that's the Isle of Wight. Shoreham should be underneath us. You've got West Wittering Beach, Portsmouth all looking out further out there. And then, in fact, there's Shoreham, just under the cloud. London Oxford, Simon, thank you. In Oxford, yeah. Of course. London Oxford. An hour and a half up the motorway from London. Yeah, so we're going to have London Oxford, London Manston, London Luton, London Stansted, London Gatwick, London City Airport and London Heathrow Airport. That'll be your lot. Adam, I've heard yes, but I'm not sure because I don't ever fly on the InSim ATC, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure, to be totally fair. Yeah, just leaving the London FIR now, heading into French airspace, but staying on Unicom throughout. Is that you, MPS Gaming? I can see Britannia 1972, BY 1972, or unless it's supposed to be Tom. Going from Edinburgh to Menorca. Just about to go over Le Mans, or Le Mans. London Gatwick directors online. We've got London North Approach and Essex Approach all online at the moment. For those of you looking to fly somewhere over the next couple of hours perhaps, there's 3 airports where you're guaranteed some ATC currently. Luxembourg have got ATC as well. And bits of Norway too, looking pretty good. Oh yes, Kidlington, that's the one. That's London Oxford now. I should have remembered that because I've got the Pilot Plus scenery for London Oxford. Steve says Jet 2 needs a southern base. I think they're going to try and... I think they're trying to expand in Bristol a bit more. And they're certainly expanding in... is it Stansted, I think? Hi Hawk, hello. Doc says Newcastle should have won the poll, but it didn't. It was deadlocked, and that's the problem. So Neil, in fact, made the final decision. He ended the deadlock in an instant, and then that was the job done. I mean, well, I left it an extra couple of hours. I think it was an extra 4 or 5 hours, hoping somebody would break the deadlock in the club lounge voting area, but it stayed level. Yeah, we do need to do a Newcastle flight at some point soon. I still don't have the Orbex Newcastle. Okay, crikey, that's pretty. That's quite the difference, isn't it? Manston now having to travel to Gatwick. Alright, Doc. Yeah, brilliant. Can you increase the sim rate in this plane? Adam says you can, but I don't ever do it. I've not tried it, so I'm not really sure how it works, to be totally honest. But I know some people that do use the sim rate increase. Doc, it's 10:10 because somebody voted, or a couple of people voted after the route had been decided. Can't do anything about that. It was 9-8 at one point when we decided. We're saying thought Newcastle should be the new London airport. Magic, yeah, we had a little look at Valanta a little while ago. It's mega busy down that part of the world, isn't it? across the land is happening at the moment, of course. We're not flying in it. Oh, I'd be very late for work, I'd imagine. Let's go for, what do we got here? Different custom views. John says there's a click spot on the timer to increase the sim rate. I did not know that. Never tried it, to be totally honest. You've got to be really careful where you click on the clock then. I only ever sort of fly real-time flights, so I just leave it on normal time, fly as long as it takes, effectively. So apparently the click spot for increasing the sim rate is the top left at the clock. Oh, so these two. Oh, that one. So up, I'd assume, would be increased sim rate, the little up arrow, and then down would be decreased sim rate. Interesting. There we are. That answers your question exactly then, Adam. I mean, a lot of virtual airlines, for example, won't allow you to fly and increase the sim rate. So if you're flying as part of a virtual airline, you've got to check their sort of policies, if you like, as well, their rules, to see if in fact you are allowed to or not. What do you guys think of the cabin here? DamoDesign has done a great job. I'm in the seat. Whoops. Look at that. Yeah, and certainly if you're on VATSIM, it's a must not. You can't increase your sim rate on VATSIM unless you want to be told off or kicked, banned from the network. Very nice inspired Jet 2 cabin. Of course they don't have in real life IFE or anything, but DamoDesign has tried his best to just create a cabin that looks and feels a bit more Jet 2 as best as possible with the textures. He's done a fantastic job of it. I'm sure you guys would agree. I mean, look at that. Looks really cool. Brandon, that'd be the other concern. Having issues with crash to desktop because of increasing it. John says, read somewhere that if you ask, you can get permission if you're not affecting any other aircraft or traffic on the network. Interesting. Custom galley there with the red doors. The heck? What's that click spot for? I do not know. They don't click anything though. That's the thing, you've got to be careful. If you're in this cabin view and you're looking sort of towards the flight deck door, everything inside the flight deck is still clickable, as you can see there. Got to be really careful. Nighthawk says, according to Microsoft Flight Simulator's development roadmap, World Update 11 Canada releases on September the 27th, but there's no specific date for Sim Update 10, but it is expected before the end of September. Good grief, that's quite the delay then, isn't it, if that's the case? That's a huge delay. It sounds like it's gone from 2 weeks to about 6. We were supposed to get it middle of August, weren't we, or the start of August? I forget the original date now. God, yeah, it's sod's law, isn't it? I would click it once, it'd go to ×8, and I'd be whistling along to Menorca, unable to slow it down. Mikhail, have a good one. Thanks for departing with us. Next week, we're going to have to try and dig out, find another challenging airport to fly into, somewhere in the world. Depends entirely, I mean, everything depends on whenever Sim Update 10 is going to come as well, because we'd like to make sure we fly well with the Sim Update, and we don't clash with it either, or have any issues should it release. Oh, 100% Mark. Curious though as to what has caused the big delay. I know they've mentioned things like performance being a bit problematic for people. That was a bit weird. Odd weather transition there. We're making really good progress already as well. Over French airspace as we stand at the moment, and we are over a third of the way there already. Very good. Rich says, do you think they'll implement the weather radar with the EFB? I'm really not sure, to be totally honest. They're keeping it very tight-lipped, understandably so, EFB and all that sort of thing. We'll just have to wait and see whenever it does come. But they will be working on a weather API as soon as they can. JB says the Sim Update 10 beta testers have pointed out performance regressions in one of the beta builds. So they asked for a delay for Sober to fix it and they delayed it. Seems DirectX 12 needs input from NVIDIA for memory. David Bartley saying the same thing. I think it's all around DirectX 12 and DLSS with NVIDIA. Yeah, from memory, Sim Update 10 is supposed to be the big one, isn't it? I mean, the main thing is that when it releases, it works well and it's issue free, but we don't know. And we've had a lot of problems in previous updates, haven't we? Sim Update 5 being just horrendous. Ethan saying, what ILS type are you on? It's in the live stream section of Discord. It's ILS Yankee 19 via Donav. JB says performance-wise for Sim Update 10's current beta build, no crashes or stutters in sight. And they did say they're working with NVIDIA and AMD to address some issues with DirectX 12 and so on. It does sound like they've learned from previous issues that we've had. It sounds promising, doesn't it? It sounds very promising. We've just got to wait and see. I'm reluctant to try the Sim Update 10 beta myself because I don't have MSFS in a custom drive or in a custom folder. So if I installed it, I'd have to uninstall the sim entirely Automator, hello. Very cool. Volleys, logs, welcome, and no, I don't use PackX. Hopefully a lot of people there, David also using the Sempertake 10 beta in the chat, a lot of people being very positive about the latest beta build, and hopefully that might give Asobo a bit more confidence in releasing it to us if it's working well. J-Bay saying the most positive thing about it, that they listen to feedback, always good to hear, and they weren't afraid to delay an update for the sake of making it good. Yeah, it does certainly seem like they've sorted out their development release sort of workflow and the methods of how it's done. Ultimately, we just want updates that improve the sim and not make it worse. So it's not unreasonable, is it? Mark, hello. Yes, that's the one in. That's Keith. SEQM. Is that Keto? No, it's not, is it? It is Keto. Yeah, very tough. We've not done Keto in a long time. Actually, you do remind me, we've got Orbex's South America mesh that we haven't even checked out yet, and we've been meaning to do a departure out of Santiago, so we'll have to come up with a route next week during my next set of days off out of Santiago for somewhere cool within a couple of hours of range. We just have to put our heads together, think of a route, real or not. Osprey Airways 737-800 livery wise as well, that progress is ongoing. As it stands at the moment, what Tapsy and I were talking about the other day was the textures for the screens and also the magazines and the safety card. So we're trying to basically create some of these so they can go into the aircraft and make the cabin look a little bit more realistic, similar to how this livery's been done inside. It looks fantastic, so we're trying to replicate something similar with shopping magazines and IFE screens and things like that for the Osprey Airways 800 livery, but hopefully it will come soon. Tapsy's estimate was Saturday today, but probably give it maybe another week or so just to be sure, with tweaks and improvements. We'll have to fly that when it does come. MPS Gaming, I don't think Asobo will fix that anytime soon, to be totally honest. Exactly, Doc. I think so. Let's have a little look, see where we are. Still got a couple of aircraft. Who's that one? He's off to Gatwick, so it's not in our pack. There we are, Farris at the end. Tomjet 4511, just over, well, he's over the Brighton coast at the moment by the looks of it. Trying to chase the back of the pack. David there, Osprey 71 Alpha Golf. Chanex 9 Romeo Juliet is off to Rias. That's not part of the pack, but there we are. Passing Le Mans on the right hand side through central France. And you can see now the departures out of Madrid, I think, which was one of the departures for across the land. Just calmed down quite a bit now. Palma looks very busy as always, and Ibiza looks very busy. But Menorca, not so much, at least for the time being. Monaco looks packed. And there's the trailing edges of across the land there that we were a little bit behind it from. I mean, at a push we could have done perhaps Madrid to Cairo, but not as exciting. And then we compare that against Navigraph, and you can see we're pretty much at the halfway point now. That green line there is us going between the Paris FIR into the Bordeaux FIR. Over Limoges. But we can show it on the world map just for a bit more of an idea. There we are. There's the Pyrenees, highlighted in green for the terrain raised. Over the Pyrenees, turning south-east at that point at Rocan. And then over the coast. When we get to Menorca, what we're expecting, I know it's a little bit early for this, we're expecting Sargo 4 Foxtrot arrival, which is this one, via Sargo, up here at or above flight level 100, up to 15 DME from the Mahon VOR, or the Menorca VOR, and then turning left for a very short 13 DME arc to Donav, which is the initial approach fix there. And then expecting the ILS Yankee runway 19, like that. So it's a bit more of a tight turn. You can see there between Donav and 10 DME is a slight arc on the line, on the flight path, before we establish. So we're going to have to make sure that we do that correctly, we do it neatly. And we might actually get ourselves down to about 2,500 feet as we're passing Donav, just to help us with the turn and the descent at 10 DME at 2,500. We should then be able to step down to 2,000 feet to establish. It's a very short ILS as well. The glide slope on the charts begins at 5 miles. But in reality it'll extend a little further, of course. And our minimum's down the bottom here for the ILS at 530 feet for category C aircraft, which is what we fall under. Transition altitude about 7,000 roughly. We'll put these fixed rings into 5 miles and 10 miles, 6 miles and 10 miles. Mark, which is the best Ibiza custom airport? So there's one from Simwings and there's also one available from Inibuilds, and we've seen both of them on the channel. My advice the other day, I'll probably still stick with it, is just pick whichever is the cheapest, because they're both very, very, very good. So in that instance, or in that essence, I'd probably just say pick the cheapest one of the two. And that way, they're both very good. You're just getting that little bit more value from the cheaper version, perhaps. And then you can put that money into getting something else. That's my thought process anyway. Birdman says, how did you select upper flight levels the other day in Simbrief? You should make sure that the flight levels, sorry, the upper airways, if you have like Lima 612, if it's uniform Lima 612, it's the upper, otherwise it's a lower airway potentially. But it depends entirely on where you are in the world. Best Navigraph subscription for the money, ultimate annual. So you pay one lump sum for 12 months and it saves you about, is it 10, 15 pounds I think, which is quite a bit. That's an airport scenery, or even almost the PMDG 737-600. As a saving, which is pretty good. I certainly have said for quite a little while now actually, if you're going to buy Navigraph and you're going to get a subscription to them, if you can afford it, purchase the 1 year ultimate subscription, pay for it all up front, and it will give you quite the saving in comparison to the monthly fee, which is a little bit more expensive overall, but of course affordability wise you're paying each month rather than one lump sum. I'd say if you can stretch to the year, do the full year, I'd do that instead. Much better. I mean, we use Navigraph's capabilities relentlessly on the channel here as well, so oops, fat fingers. Definitely put it to the test. Every single stream works very, very well. They've been very quick as well to support the various PMDG aircraft through their releases with upgrades to the Navigraph nav system as well. It does include integration into the sim, yes, and it also includes the charts and also the direct nav data for the Fenix A320, the Aerosoft CRJ, the PMDG 737s. If you like the idea of having the charts inbuilt into the sim, it also allows you to have the inbuilt game bar, which you can add to the very top bar there, that drop down that we just showed. But you've got to install it via the nav system, if that makes sense, their nav center. But it's all very self-explanatory on the website. Very easy to do. We're expecting, providing we get, I didn't write it down actually. What stand are we? Oh, stand 21. That's what we're expecting to park at in Menorca, providing that we've got the stand open for use. And what I'll try to do, I'll load up GSX as we vacate. We'll request the follow me car to take us to stand 21. Unless there's ATC, of course. Not done a fuel check for a little while either actually. We are pushing the aircraft. Where are we now? Sophill. Perfect timing. We find that on the OFP. Do a quick fuel check. There's 6 on the display. Sophill. 5.7 tons. Perfect. So we're slightly over still. 300 kilograms more than we should have at this point estimated. So we can keep going at this speed. Might just rebalance the tanks ever so slightly. Not really necessary though, but £30 kilograms difference. 30 kilos of difference. There's no point at all of me bothering to balance those. We'll just keep an eye on it, but they're certainly well within limits. And we can also be good, we can change this to 350, which is our landing altitude roughly. In fact, no, airport elevation is only 303, so we're going to do 300. That's airplane toolbox is wrong. We can have a little look here for our descent stuff as well. We can add our descent winds in our forecast. Change the transition level as well. Currently QNH 1012 in Menorca. 190 at 7, variable between 160 degrees and 230 degrees. A few clouds at 2,100 feet. 21 degrees Celsius for the temperature. Ooh, we've had some supervisors online. Probably monitoring across the land very closely. There we are. I thought I'd pressed that. I think was it 600 kilograms roughly, John? Estimated before it gives you the warning. Might be less, 500 and something. Happy days. Average ice deviation for the descents, 10 degrees Celsius. We can say ILS Yankee 19, via Donav, on the Sargo for Foxtrot. Done. Sargo there. Donav at 3000. Actually going to tweak these slightly to get rid of the A. Ask them to be at 3000, at 2500, at 1900. Just change the figures slightly there for our top descent as well, or for our descent profile. Got an aircraft behind us, might be over us actually, doing a little overtake. Where are they? 40, okay, no, they're miles away still. 20 miles. Make sure we recenter the heading bug as we commit through our turns as well. Keep it on the heading. And again, if you are sort of learning the differences of this, the track is our line. So TRK is our magnetic track, 165 degrees, but our heading is the triangle because we've got that slight 28 knot crosswind pushing us to the left of track. So our aircraft is actually facing 169 degrees, but we're flying 166 degrees, if that makes sense. Mark, yeah, there's an airport that I've been meaning to preview for a long time actually. Just all the crashing and things like that just became a real problem for me. So I've not got around to it, but London Biggin Hill by Burning Blue Designs has been released. There's some incredible dynamic hangar buildings that I want to look at and put into a video. So it is something that I'll look to do in the next couple of weeks. Doc saying that Barcelona Control gave up covering top-down service, so he told us to change to Unicom and he only covered flight level 245 and above. It was very busy. Yeah, I mean, I think for events like this, it becomes almost pointless for people to even do voice clearance. I think you should just all be, by way of rule, PDCs only. Text PDCs. So you connect, and then they send you PDC via Poppies or just via the chat client. And then all you need to do is just request your pushback clearance when you're ready. and I feel like that would have made it a lot simpler. There's certainly big events like Cross the Land. Not that we intend on going there, but our diversion today is Barcelona. And our supposed landing weight is going to be... I've lost it now, where is it? 63 tonnes. And with that, we're going to be estimating it's about 150 knots on the approach. Let's find out, actually. 63, wasn't it, I said? We'll do 63.3 because we're 0.3 over. There you go, 146, 151 knots for our approach speed is what we can estimate. MPS Games got 210 to top of descent. We're making great progress over the halfway point now. There's our top of descent. Just after, is that GIR as in Girona? Can't be. Yeah, it is Girona, POR. Okay, so that's after our top descent there. Which is just as we commit off the Spanish coast. 270 nautical miles to top of descent. We could also put in our fixed rings now. Runway 19. We'll just do 6 and 10. So that's 6 miles, we want to be about 2,000 feet roughly. We should start to see, perhaps not at the moment with this cloud cover, we should start to be able to see some of the mountains, the Pyrenees extending off, but that's some vast cloud, isn't it? Ground looks fantastic underneath though, down below. Sim is back to looking fantastic as always. A little note as well about this livery, DamoDesign's the link that I put in the live chat, so the live stream description for today for this particular livery. There's actually 3 packages that you can download from Flight Sim from that particular file as well. So this one, the Jet to Alicante, which is the standard main file, is one of them, but there's also Jet to Lanzarote and Jet to Barcelona, I think. Might be wrong, but it might be Barcelona. There's a couple of different options. Oh no, jet to Cyprus. I'm gonna have to find out now. It's gonna bug me. They're very, very good. There's 3 liveries basically included in one package. Extinct. Not sure, to be totally honest. I've never used X-Plane 11, but there is X-Plane 12 around the corner, so I'm not really sure what to suggest. What spec have you got on your laptop? When you say a medium-end laptop, what sort of spec is it? What CPU, GPU, graphics card, RAM, all that sort of thing? If you're currently playing FSX, interesting. I mean, visually, X-Plane has nothing on MSFS. I don't even think X-Plane 12 will be able to sort of keep up, in fairness. Generic Pilot, hello to you, saying Phoenix's A320 is still my favourite until PMDG put an EFB in the 738. It's sad to hear that an EFB means that it's not your favourite. An EFB, don't forget, doesn't really offer much beyond performance calculations and maybe some sim brief integration. Doesn't change the way the aeroplane flies, that's for sure. For me, it doesn't bother me, EFB or not. A lot of the time, in some of the aeroplanes with an EFB, I hide it because it just gets in the way. Once I've done the little bit that I want to do on it, then you just put it away, don't you? You ignore it for most of the day. So. So yes, it is on the overlay. I can't do anything about that, sadly. It doesn't allow me to change it. It is a 737 though, so we could just about get away with it. But it's not the type code, the correct type code. Should of course be 738. But basically the thing that it's reading inside the config file says 737 instead of 738, which is why it displays wrong. But PMDG are aware of it. I'd imagine it'll be patched in the future. Apparently we've only got 355 nautical miles to go, 46 minutes. What time are we now? That's pretty good timing actually. Ah, okay, yeah, so I think that's below the minimum spec for MSFS, isn't it, Extinct? I'm really not sure what X-Plane's minimum spec is, to be totally honest, but I think it would be a waste of time and money if you're using FSX. I think for something like X-Plane, or maybe even for most certainly MSFS, you're going to have to turn the graphics to the lowest settings perhaps on that. So it might mean you just have to stick with FSX a little bit longer until you get a new laptop or a new computer. Might be wrong. There's a lot of very knowledgeable people in the live chat though that know computers a lot better than me, so if you do know a better answer for Extinct, then let us know in the live chat with this spec there. What VORs and things can we tune for our arrivals? We need the Menorca VOR 112.6. I'll put that into both actually, 1126, because we also want to tune the Menorca NDB of 344 as a backup. And then we want treble 1.5 for the VOR, for the ILS approach. So treble 1.5, both in the active, the standby boxes, and we can pop VOR 2 on. We can put ADF 1 on for the Menorca NDB and the VOR. That's pretty much everything we need actually, which is quite nice. Need to pin the charts and the parking stands. Stand 21 is a remote stand, far right, south side of the airfield. So shorter taxi than we'd expect. E-Hawk, that's a good suggestion there for Extinct there. Try maybe playing MSFS on cloud gaming. I'm not sure how that works. Not sure how it works at all actually, to be honest, but worth looking into perhaps. especially if you have Xbox Game Pass. It only costs you perhaps £1. Picking up Ibiza traffic now on Unicom. That's pretty cool. That could be well worth looking into, Extinct, then, for your solution. You could at least give it a go. Turn all the settings down, see if the PC runs nicely on it as well. There you go. Game Pass Premium subscription gets you cloud gaming included in some regions where it's available. So you have to check your region, make sure it's available for wherever you live in the world. Then you can play the game on their on the cloud and not on your hardware. That's quite cool. And eHawk there saying basically the game is running a server somewhere and you stream the visuals. Not used it myself, but I heard it's an okay option. But yeah, I'd imagine that would just be the base simulator, as you're saying there, eHawk, as well. So not necessarily able to get any add-ons or anything. Certainly with your PC, I'd probably not bother with any payware add-ons for MSFS, but worth giving it a go so you can experience this sim. And then I don't know if X-Plane has something similar, or a thinned out version that you're like a trial that you can play. As Fritz is saying there though, you need a really beefy internet connection, so I guess it depends on your bandwidth too. Failing that, you could always get DCS. Download DCS, get one of the free modules for 2 weeks as a trial, blast around in an aeroplane there, learn how to fly DCS, Digital Combat Simulator. Not quite the same though as FSX, MSFS and X-Plane. Yeah, I'm not sure how the streaming service would work myself either. I mean, what happens if it buffers? Does the whole thing just stop and freeze until it loads again, or is that just me not understanding how it all works? Who's this? Tickling in directly towards us on TCAS here, level as well. So they're on an incorrect flight level, unless they're descending or climbing. Pyreegue's going straight for whoever that is. What on earth? It could be TVF 425, LFBO to LFKJ. My altitude's here. No, he's at 500 feet, so that's not him. Is it this one, A320? Ivan, Condor. Yeah, I think it could be. At the wrong altitude, basically. Can't see anyone else on the VATSIM network, on Balanta at least, who it could be. But he's out of the way of him, which is good. They're not going to be in conflict with one another. We might, depends on that close down speed really, but we might see some contrast if he starts to turn north towards us. Yeah, extinct. Sadly, a lot of these next generation simulators now are going to require fairly beefy computers to run them anywhere near in a half decent way. You might have to stick with FSX until you can get the budget to get a new laptop, a new gaming laptop, or get a gaming computer or something like that. Although, that's not ideal, is it? Let's face it. But it's very nice. Yeah, we're sticking with Rex for this one at least. I'm tempted maybe in the next stream to put live weather back into the mix. See what happens with it. We're going to use ADF 1, aren't we, to track Menorca, so I'm going to flick that little dial across so that when the ADF needle becomes live, that's going to flick and display, correct display for that. And then the right hand side is going to be VOR2. Who's got an open mic? Mark says, did 4 sizable flights last weekend with all live settings switched on, no crash to desktops, awesome. Birdman says the aircraft and the sims are relatively cheap compared to the cost of the platform. I tried to stream from a cloud server, it was bad on my MacBook Pro. Interesting. I ended up upgrading the metal box. Transport Gamer, hello. Yeah, Fritz makes a good point as well. Anybody waiting to buy or wanting to buy PC hardware at the moment, if you wait maybe another month or so, there are going to be a whole load of new deals on with the latest tech being released. Matt Jack, unlikely, unless they send it to me to say, look, hello, we're Lamina, we would like you to try X-Plane 12 to see if we can pull you away from MSFS. It's very unlikely. I think I'm very much happy with one sim. I don't need a second. I've got DCS for anything else that is a bit more wild. Although that is a huge learning curve, I haven't got a clue. I feel very much out of my depth on that in the F18. Extinct, unfortunately, it's a very, very, very expensive hobby. I mean, there are some people in the community around the world that will spend more than the cost of an ATPL license on all their flight sim hardware across their lifetime, which is insane. Transport Gamer says I'm buying a £959 pre-built. It will take only 5 days to make. What spec is that going to be? 'Cause that seems quite cheap. Is it for Microsoft Flight Simulator? To give you an idea, Transport Gamer, I just spec'd something up through a company to potentially look at purchasing a new rig, because I was thinking maybe mine was broken. Create a custom quote just to see what price it might be should I have to replace the whole rig, and it was £2,500. Way too expensive. And that would allow me to run at Ultra. Extinct, only you can decide that. It all depends on how much you enjoy the sim, how much flying you do in the sim as well, that sort of thing. Luke Nash says, is it easy to download the 737-800, and also is it worth the money? Both, yes. So it's very easy to download. You purchase it through the PMDG website. You then can download the product, activate it using your license code, and it will then also install the PMDG Operations Center. And is it worth it? 100%. It's very, very, very good. By far the best performing aeroplane in the sim, hands down, full stop. And it's very hands-on as well. You have to learn it. Not sure why, but we've suddenly caught up with him. We're only 10 miles clear now. Wherever that is. Rocan coming up, so we're almost to the edge of Barcelona's airspace, which is quite interesting. What was my first sim extinct? Flight Sim 2002, which is quite a long. Actually, might have been. What was my first ever sim? Flight Sim 98, maybe. Was it Flight Sim 98? I can't remember. Brit saying your rig's perfect. The next upgrade for you would suggest be a CPU. Just upgraded from the 2600X to the 5700X. The $240 CPU upgrade gave me a solid 20 to 30 frames more. Holy moly, that's a lot. It'd be interesting to see when MSFS do allow better multi-thread support, get the sim running nice and stable across multiple threads. It'd be interesting to see how good the performance increase will be there. Matt Jack for him saying the PMDG 737 is the best aircraft in the sim as well. Jeez, look at that crosswind now, folks. 74 knots at 258 degrees across the aeroplane. So if I look at the magenta bug there on the nav display, which is our heading, I'll align that to our track, but the aeroplane is actually pointing that way. So the nose is 184 degrees, but our track is 175. So in effect, the aeroplane is pointing that way, straight line, but we're actually flying over that way. That's track versus heading. Episco's got 243 at 56. Oh, and while we transition to some different weather, we can see a bit of the Pyrenees. Oh, okay, that's a very good price for the 3080, isn't it? I think I'd have to completely change my case and everything to run one of those, so I'll probably need a new motherboard. I've got a Micro ATX. Oh, nice, zooming along your route earlier then. Must be great for the folks on across the land to have a 74 knot tailwind. Pushing them across Europe. Ali, hello, welcome. Saying watch and enjoy your videos a lot. Love that you fly TUI a fair bit and would love to see you going to Girona. Nice idea. Fritz, yeah, I'm running 1080p. E-Hawk said he got the 737-600 from PMDG to see if I liked getting into proper flight simming, and now have this 738 in my sights and looking forward to the 777. 100%. Yeah, the 738 is a whole new dimension in comparison to the 600. Majesty was thinking of getting a Threadripper system. Don't even know what that is. It sounds juicy. Sivamo says, needs some help buying new gear for more immersion, an eye tracker or a VR headset. Ooh. Is it for Microsoft Flight Simulator or is it for something else like DCS? Mark, the problem for me is I don't have the space. It's all very cramped inside my case already. That's the problem. Neil, that's pretty cool. I mean, absolutely at some point want to upgrade my screen to a 4K screen and be able to enjoy these visuals even more. Or MSFS. What sort of flying do you do then, Sumavo? If you're doing things like general aviation, I think a virtual reality headset might be better. And if you've got like a good yoke system, might be a good way of doing it. But I think otherwise you'd probably just go for whatever cheaper sort of head tracking, eye tracking sort of piece of hardware you'd like to get. Personally, I don't have either. I don't even have a head tracker because I'd rarely use it. Oh, who is that on open mic? Sounds like somebody's chewing some food. Awesome. You know what we've got? We've got Tower and ATIS. Menorca ATIS information Alpha 1400 Zulu. Expect ILS approach. There's no runway in use in the ATIS, just as runway in use. Transition level 7.5, wind calm, visibility more than 10 kilometers. View clouds 2,100 feet, temperature 28 degrees, dew point 23, QNH 1011. We'll give that a couple of minutes. We've got top of descent in 60, so we've got a little while to go before we start to head down. Exactly, somebody chewing Pringles. David's saying he's enjoying his Tobii eye tracker. Don't use it all the time in the airliners, but it is good and on 20% discount for a week or so right now, which makes it even more appealing. Magic said, how do you use crossfeed in the 737? So if you want to balance the tanks, we'll have to be quick with it because we're closing top of descent now, so we need to hurry up with some other bits. Fuel in the left tank's lower than fuel in the right tank, so we want to turn the left tank off to allow the right tank to catch up. So what we do is we put the crossfeed on, valve open goes on, light goes out, and we're going to turn off the lowest tanks. And in this case, tank number 1, we're going to get master caution for fuel. That's because we've just turned off 2 of the pumps, and then we just wait and we allow the tanks to rebalance. You can see there it's feeding from tank number 2 only. And then when you're happy that the balance is just about right, or it's acceptable or whatever else, and you want to turn it all off again, like now, you can pop the tanks back on, wait till the low pressure warning lights go off, check the engines are still running okay, and then turn the cross feed back off again. Valve open, light goes on, valve open, light goes off. Job done. Okay, pre-top of descent checks then. So destination weather obtained, we've just read through the ATIS. Arrival data is set. We've done the star, but we actually need to add our minimums and that sort of thing. So our minimums is 530. That'll do. And we were estimating about 63.3 tonnes for the approach ref as well. So we're going to add that in there, pop that there. That appears in the bottom left is the PFD. And then QNH 1011. That's set as well. (1182) the Menorca tower, so we can get that pre-tuned and ready. (1182) top percent at about 30 miles. So back to the checklist. Landing altitude check, we've already done that. We will double check it. 300 feet is what we want. Radios, we've just set that. Lock ILS course and frequency set. So here in the central radio stack section, we've got nav 1 on the Menorca VOR, nav 2 on the Menorca VOR, both active. We've got ADF 1 tuned to the Menorca NDB for ADF 1, making nav 1 redundant at the moment until we flick it back across. And we've got 1115 on both standby boxes for nav 1 and 2, and that is for the ILS approach. And then we need to make sure we've got our course set. That's important. 187. And the same for nav 2. (187). Jobs are good in. Wing engine as required is not required. We've just done some crossfeed stuff, so let's do the master warning recall as well. Master caution recall. And MCP reset altitude. We're going to aim for 3,000 with a continuous descent. So in the box, we'll start to wind down to 3. The altitude. And we're in VNAV. That's going to assist with our descent. The sliced lime, yes, but only if the creator of the profile has made the effort to make it right. It's the courses used to tell the aeroplane what direction the runway is on the glide slope, effectively on the localizer. It's to make sure it all tees up quite nicely. You'll find if you don't set it, it won't fly it properly either, or you might not even be able to establish Altimeter set, minimums are set, approaches set, and missed approach briefed. So if we do declare a go around for any reason, we need to climb on the runway heading to 2,000 feet, then turn left direct to the Menorca VOR, climbing to 2,500 feet and enter the hold. That's it. We're going to use auto brake. Actually, how long's the runway here? I'm going to use auto brake 2, but I might use 3. Depends on where the exits are. We've got C right down the end, and the runway is 8,366 feet long, which is landing beyond the threshold, 2,350 meters usable length. So I reckon auto brake 2 and reverse thrust will do us nicely. And then we should be able to vacate down at Charlie, down at the bottom. That's auto brake set as required. And then we're just going to head into top descent any minute now, any second now. And then it's going to be setting the altimeter below transition, which we just quickly want to check actually. Because the ATIS said 7.5, so let's make sure that's added in. And QNH 1011, final checks. Done. Right. So in less than 5 miles, about 3 miles now, we're going to hit top of descent. We're going to see a couple of things on the annunciator panel on the PFD change. I think it will most likely say VNAV path highlighted, or VNAV descent, I think. You'll see the VNAV target on the right hand side of the artificial horizon. I think it will say retard as well, to idle throttles for our descents. And that is it. We're going to do flat 30 on approach. Giving us an inbound approach speed of 151 knots. 30 degrees. Lovely stuff. Neil's 60 nautical miles behind us. Good grief. We're going to come out of speed mode as well for the IAS Mach. We're going to allow the aeroplane to make its own mind up for speed. Help the VNAV out a little bit more. And that crosswind's now about 20 knot tailwind and a 50 knot, 30 knot, 50 knots, 40 knots sort of crosswind. Menorca Tower 1182 is already pre-tuned. We haven't got anyone else online to assist us. We've got the ATIS back. Let's just have a look. Yeah, transition level 75, 011, information alpha. Probably change to Bravo in a minute as well, but now we're on the profile. Keep an eye. It's quite a slippery aeroplane. We've got to keep an eye on the speed. Certainly as we get to the lower levels as well, we might see the speed start to slip away as we continue this fairly steep rate of descent here. We might have to use flight detent mode. But there's the banana showing where at this path our predicted bottom of descent it will be. But that will change because we need to go through 10,000. Therefore level off down to 250 knots. We need to reduce speed, decelerate for the approach. So we'll see that dynamically change as we make our way in. Fritz, I leave it at P0. I'll just let SimBrief tell me how much to put in based upon the profile that I use. MPS Gaming says, from now on, I'd use Rex Live Weather, not Funfly over 2 hours, then it's crashed the desktop. Yeah, I wonder. There's got to be more to it though. It could be anything. Check your add-on linker thing that Faris mentioned, the model lib checker in tools and all that sort of thing. Jatsy, hello. We're going to do a quick sit rep of our speed. It's holding it quite nicely actually, I have to say. Speed's changing all the time, so just going to have to make sure the heading bug is nicely in line. Bring the range in as we go. Sargo at or above flight level 100. And we're already picking up the Menorca VOR now, 97 DME. Out of range still for the NDB, which is why that's still blue at the bottom left and blanked. Although actually, yeah, we haven't got it yet. The flag's there, that's fine. Blue on PC, not sure. Really not sure, to be honest. Maybe it's something that any builds have got in their pipeline, but they won't tell anybody yet. And who knows? .2 kilos of fuel for Matt Jack. Good grief. You should be okay. It just means you have no fuel to divert if it goes wrong. I'd imagine your reserve fuel warning has come on already. Master caution, low fuel. MBS Graham says it was lightsome.exe that crashed. Does it say what the cause of the crash was though? It could be the add-on linker model lib thing. There's a lot of payware scenery that all use modellib.bgl as the file type, and back in sim update 6 or 7 was it? World update 6 or 7, that was a big no-no. So everybody had to change, all the freeware developers had to go and create custom rules for it all. But model lib checker inside add-on linker can do it for you. And that could potentially help. Henry, hello. Easy 2 on Papa descending into Menorca. Hello Neil, welcome. Far to go now at all. We're monitoring V-Pilot, we've got tower on. That's one weird thing. So thank you to our controller to see us in. Santiago, really appreciate it. Fritz, I reckon you'd have about 30 minutes of gliding before you hit the ground. I reckon at flight level 340, 25-30 minutes of gliding perhaps. If you do it really efficiently, I don't know. I read the other day that the A380 can glide for 30 odd minutes, so maybe 20 minutes on the 800 actually. Welcome back, Jan. Look forward to checking this out. Simwings Menorca Airport, and we've got the GSX profile that somebody's created, done every single stand really carefully to try and make it very immersive on arrival. So we'll deboard the aircraft using the remote stand of 2-1, providing it's free. And then we'll see what happens with GSX when we do trigger it as well. And we'll try, depending on the time of our actual landing and shutdown, I'll try and watch a couple of touchdowns. John, yeah. No, yeah, you'll be fine. And unfortunately I'm going into night shifts now, so I'm going to be immensely tired tomorrow. The live stream schedule gets discussed and it ends up going onto our Discord server first in the live streams thread inside our Discord server, so that's the best place to find out when all the next streams will be and whenever any new videos get released and that sort of thing. So if you're not in our Discord server, make sure you join it. How's the aircraft depressurization? Looking pretty good. Put the logo light on again. Man check, no, it's 300. We did it a couple of minutes ago. 300 feet. And it's on the charts. Airport elevation. Mark, it does a little bit, yeah. It's all good. It's going to be an interesting night, I think. I mean, yesterday was interesting enough, so what could possibly go wrong? Birdman, usually about 3. Like today, for example, got up about 8 because you can't really sleep in that well. Got up about 8 in the morning, and I will get home tomorrow around 7:30 in the morning. And then I'll sleep for a bit, wake up around probably 11 o'clock. 12:30 at the latest, usually. Don't want to waste too much of the day. Airport elevation map check. We were just talking about it as well. Literally 5 minutes ago. Unfortunately, I can't talk about work. Unnamed person. Yeah, 13 hours tonight for me, Birdman. Absolutely, Mark. Especially during the heat wave. I was on nights during the heat wave, about 40 degrees or so. It was unbearable to sleep. Amazing Mace, the discount is out if you go to Just Flight and you purchase Rex Weather Force Pro from Just Flight with 30% off. It's 10 quid. Really, really, really good price. £10. Even just as a backup to live weather if it breaks, you know that you've got something that you can fall back on and use. That's it, Neil. You're gonna have a knock on the door in about 2 hours now. Oh, nice. Huge. That's a huge mission though. Good grief. 9 hours. Way too long. So VNAV now should level us off at 10,000, which would be great because the airplane is also using the opportunity, look, to slow itself down just as we pass Sargo, and then it should continue the descent again. This is where the VNAV is very, very nice. Yeah, don't buy it from anywhere else, Amazing Mace. Buy it from Just Flight because it's the cheapest by quite a bit. Buy €5, 5 quid most of the time, cheaper than anywhere else, even with the sale on. So definitely worth checking that out. I mean, I'm thankful I'm using it because live weather's been a bit problematic for me over the last few weeks. It's been one of the things I've in my head been wondering if it's at fault. What's it going to decelerate us down to, I wonder? Let's put the lights and signs on. 1, 2, 3, 4, logo lights are on, and seatbelt signs can go on. We're going to check all of this. We're going to check our depressurization panel as well. Menorca traffic, Chanek 79 Echoes, 10,000 feet, or flight level 100 overhead Sargo inbound. The Sargo 4 Foxtrot arrival ILS Yankee 19 approach via Donav. Will report approaching Donav Menorca traffic. 240 knots, that'll do. Very nice. Good choice, VNAV, good choice. So inbound now to the 13 DME arc, 15 miles from the airfield. We'll fly the arc for just about 30 seconds max, I think, before we're then looking to establish on the localizer. Then we'll speak to tower with information Alpha on board. Should be Bravo now, actually. Let's have a look. Oh, it's information Charlie. Info Charlie. So the latest status is expect ILS approach runway 19, transition level, flight level 75, wind 170 degrees at 9 knots, variable between 140 degrees and 200 degrees, visibility more than 10 kilometers, few clouds 2,100 feet, view towering cumulus 5,000 feet, temperature 29 degrees, dew point 22 degrees Celsius, QNH 1011, which is what we've got set already, and that's Menorca information Charlie. And then we'll speak to Menorca Tower. So we're going to keep our speed up for a little bit, but we're going to have to be wary that we're going to have to decelerate at some point very soon. And in fact, on that profile, that's not going to work for us, I don't think. What we set, 3,000. That's what we want. Do you want to be level by Donna for the initial approach fix at 3,000? VNAV would have done it, but I fear it would have likely put us down into a bit of more of a nose down attempt to catch up on the final part of that profile. And we need to decelerate too. Through transition, we're going to go to 210 on the speeds, and we're going to go to local pressure. QNH 1011 is now in use. Yes, to save yourself $2, Amazing Mason, go for the one on Just Flying. $2 is $2. Flight to 10. Confirmed our approach and our ATIS as well. Pre-approach checks then, nav course and frequency, 187 on both. Frequencies, let's switch both across. 115. We're going to leave ADF 1 on there, just in case we do hold over the NDV as opposed to the VOR. In fact, let's not worry about that. Might keep this going down to about 180 knots now. Slightly heavier than we expected. Look, 63.8. Ground speed minis appeared. Let's go to 900. Rate of descent there. Adam, you need to, you just bought the 737-800, I can't download the deliveries, you need the ops centre. PMDG operations centre. Okay, speed's 226, there's the island of Menorca. Oops. There's our drone cam. Here we go. Nice, Miguel. Good effort. Okay. Focus time. Lap 5. Let's bring our range in here. We're going to go to our ILS charts, make sure they're ready to go. Don't have 13 DME, 3,000 feet. It's not on an overfly, which is good. That means that we're going to have a bit more of a smoother transition. We're going to make sure the spoiler's armed. That's all set as we want it. We're on 150 for a 30-degree intercept in a minute. Level at 3. Set 2,500 feet for the next step down. Lap 10. Speed's good. Final ding for the crew. Do 150, let's go heading select mode, SAM approach mode. Taking it already, locks active, glide slopes armed, single channel. Menorca traffic, Chanex 79 Echoes overhead, Don Av established, ILS 19, changing to tower on 118.2 Menorca traffic.
Apurado entrando, es que voy a tener una orden limpia.
187. Going to maintain 160 till 4. And where are we? 10 DME. Slow deceleration through 10. And altitude hold. We'll wait for that glide slope now. Menorca Tower, good afternoon. Janex 79 Echo. Information Charlie. Established 10 miles ILS. Runway 19. Team DB.
Chanex 79 Echo, Menorca Tower, hello. The wind is 17009, runway 19, clear to land.
Runway 19, cleared land, Chanex 79 Echo. Go gear down over the water, flap 15. Christopher, hello, welcome. Flap 30 for our landing today, folks. We're going to have a little look here, and yep, it's showing 63.7 tons for our landing weight, 30 degrees, 146, add the 5, 151. We're almost at our final VREF now, actually, to be fair. Let's go flap 25. Glide slopes alive, look, starting to creep down towards us. And landing gears 3 green. Just before we hit the glide slope, let's go flap 30 and we'll wait for the green light. Go around altitude is set, 2,500 already. That's what we're at the moment. And the glide slope's now active. Runway heading is all set as well. We've got a slight crosswind, so I'm just going to move that to 188. We're going to go to 151. Last little bit, we'll hand fly, we'll turn it all off. Rich, thank you buddy, you know what to do, join the best flight sim community out there. Thank you very much, very generous of you. Very variable, it's gone from a crosswind to a headwind. What's the touchdown going to be, folks? Smooth? or a bit firm. Bring that up to 5.
You know what to do to join the best flight sim community out there, folks.
Pretty much 1,000 feet over the ground now, so let's go auto throttle off. Autopilot off. It's my throttle, my plane. Already the wind's trying to sort of blow us a little bit. Just going to make sure we've got this trimmed nicely for the approach here as well.
1,000.
It's interesting watching the nav display with the wind swivelling around all the time. In one piece preferably. Always the preference.
Echo Tango, mantenga corto de Tango 1.
Wee, hello.
500.
Gonna get the approaching minimums call.
400. 300. Approaching minimums.
Speed's good.
200.
On the profile.
Minimums.
Continue.
100.
Looking to the ends.
50. 30. 20. 10.
A little early on touchdown there. Kind of falling foul of looking at the upslope thinking the runway's shorter than it actually is. But 339, I'll take that. And we'll vacate here at Charlie. We just get a reverse idle.
Channel 79 Echo, welcome to Menorca. Taxi via Charlie Tango, hold short Delta, expect stand 21.
Taxi Charlie Tango, hold short Delta, expect to stand 21, Channel 79 Echo. Get rid of the flaps and speed brake, turn the auto brake off, landing lights off, runway turn off lights off, taxi lights on, engine starts to off, strobe steady to steady, and we're going to go to, where is it? Just do the turn.
2500 feet, speeding 156 knots, and is established INS Yankee 19 approach.
Channel 422 Menorca Tower, hello, the wind is 17009, runway 19, clear to land.
Runway 19, clear to land, Channel 422.
Both feet off, let's get rid of the master caution there. What is it in relation to actually? Let's have a look. Anti-ice is fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're sure you can't wait to enjoy your holiday, but don't stand up just yet.
Rather than standing and waiting, please stay seated and buckle up until we switch the seatbelt signs off.
Please leave your phone in your bags or pockets. You can switch it on when we open the plane doors. And just to let you know, you're not allowed to smoke or vape on the journey to the terminal, or in the terminal itself.
Before you go, please make sure you've got everything with you. And take care when you open the overhead lockers, as some things may have moved during the flight. As you leave us, please take care as there will be a gap between the plane and the steps or airfields.
Short of Delta.
If you're travelling with children, please hold their hand. Remember, as the saying goes, mind the gap.
Our friendly team will take you into the terminal. They'll also be happy to help you in the baggage recon area.
Iberia 31 Hotel Yankee, despacio Tango 1, entre November Romeo y mantenga corto de pista 19.
Our famous red uniform and of course a big welcoming smile.
Oh Javier, welcome.
From all of us.
Regenerating airport
Hotel
cache.
Yankee, me vuelvo a confirmar November Romeo.
November Romeo.
Interesting. Says airport cache loaded successfully. There we go. So gates.
Channel 79 Echo, continue Delta to stand 201.
T Delta stand 21, Channel 79 Echo, thanks. Let's get the follow me car. Handling by Actiona. Now we're going to go to gents. Just going to keep going nice and slow here while we wait for the follow me car, which I can see in the distance is razzing out towards us. We're back on GSX here, 38 seconds to time of arrival for him. AP please.
Iberia 31 Hotel Yankee detrás
Gen's
del
good.
Chanax 737 aterrizando 19, entrar y mantener 19 detrás.
Time of arrival 24 seconds. And we're here now at Simwings Menorca. You can see the stand in the background too. Every time. Does make me laugh. So we should get a follow me with a right turn. Yep, there we go. He's active. So he's now, let's see, is he going to take us right? Not, we're going to just leave him. No, that's disappointing. Okay, we'll just revoke the follow me. Bye bye. Marshall has now been dispatched to the site.
Channel 422, welcome to Menorca. Taxi Charlie Tango, hold short Delta, expect stand the 19er.
Taxi Charlie Tango Hotel and expect stand 19. Channel 422.
Channel 422 Delta is Charlie Tango, hold short Delta.
Delta Charlie Tango, hold short Delta, Channel 422.
Ah, good grief, I can't see where stand 21 is now.
Iberia 31 Hotel Yankee, viento 170 grados, 09 nudos, pista 19, autorizado a despegar.
Taxi lights off. Now, I want to try and get this exactly on the spot because I've heard sometimes the marshaller does a Gangnam style dance.
Channel 54 Romeo Menorca Tower, go ahead.
Channel 54 Romeo, ILS established for runway 19.
Channel 54 Romeo Menorca, hello, number 2 on runway 19er, aircraft A330 departing in front of you, runway 19er.
Oops.
Roger, Channel 54 Romeo.
Telling us to slow down. Haha. There we go, that's a better speed.
Menorca, buenas tardes, Channel 390 in stand 11 with information, Charlie request.
This will be interesting to see exactly where this has been set up.
Channel 39 Sierra, Menorca Tower, hello, number 1 on the clearance, standby.
So this depends on where the profile, the person who created the profile has put the spots.
ILS, 10 miles from touchdown. Ryanair 6267 Menorca Tower, hello,
Come into a
maintain
rolling
minimal
stop,
approach
nice
speed,
and
number
smooth.
3 for runway 19er.
Brakes. Bar brake. Please cut engines.
Channel 54 Romeo, the wind is 17009 or runway 19er, clear to land.
Channel 54 Romeo, clear to land, runway 19. No.
Ryanair 6267, did
that
you
wasn't
copy
a good parking. That's his fault.
I did copy, obviously, sorry I forgot to reply. I am maintaining minimum approach speed
That's well off.
and I'm on target.
Disappointed in him.
Iberia 31 Hotel Yankee, pase con Unicom 228, hasta luego, buen vuelo.
Unicom 228, hasta luego, gracias por el control.
And we're going to go GSX.
Channel 42, may I repeat that taxi instructions again after Delta, I'm sorry.
The boarding requested.
Channel 422 for the moment, hold short Delta.
Hey, you know what? The scenery looks great, doesn't it?
At the moment we'll hold short Delta, Channel 42.
Channel 39 Sierra, ready to copy.
Ready copy, Channel 39 Sierra.
Next 39er Sierra, you're clear to run Puimicino via the Morse 3 Delta departure, runway 19er.
So we should get buses and things like that.
75 and squawk is 6203.
Sorry, can you repeat the flight level and the squawk, please? Chinese 39er Sierra.
Next 39er Sierra, standby, break, Ryanair 6267, you're going to be expecting late landing clearance.
Okay, say again, please, sorry.
Ryanair 6267, you're going to be expecting late landing clearance. Aircraft in front of you landing 3 miles.
Affirmative, we'll await landing clearance, holding at slowest speed possible.
The next 39er Sierra,
watch these two landings.
3 Delta, and initial altitude flight level 75.
This is Neil trying to achieve his first ever landing on our streams, so good luck to him.
Clear to roam via the Morse 3 Delta departure, runway 19er, initial climb to flight level 75 and squawk is 3203 for Channel 39er Sierra.
That's got it, go on. Oh.
Channel 39er Sierra, squawk 6203.
6203, Channel 39er
He's
Sierra.
inching it down, look.
Channel 54 Romeo.
That was a nice touchdown in the end.
Short final.
Roger, Channel 54 Romeo.
There's Matt Jack, I think. Hold short Delta.
Channel 42, now holding Delta.
Channel 42, standby.
Very short final. Holy moly. Is it going to be a go around? Who knows? Danny, no, it's not freeware, it's payware.
6267, go around. Proceed as published and monitor Unicom 122.8, sorry.
Affirmative, going around.
Ease up around. Let's have a look at this scenery, shall we? There comes the bus.
Channel 422, continue Delta.
We'll explore the external bit before. We want to catch some of the fantastic GSX action. Oh, look at that. Let's go in.
Calling 52 Mike Juliet Menorca, muy
go in?
buenas.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Espera un momento. Channel 54 Romeo, welcome to Menorca. Taxi
cool.
Tango, hold short Delta.
Nice little queue there for some passengers as well, waiting to board for the flight.
23.
We just go back out here.
Romeo, Taxi Tango, hold short Delta 23.
We need to just do a bit of this work here as well. Previous page. We need entry off, left and forwards.
Osprey 71 Alpha Golf Menorca Tower, hello.
Here's the bus.
Maintain maximal
Jet
approach
2 red
speed.
as well. Very nice.
17009er, runway 19er, clear to land.
Maximum speed, clear to land.
Yes, and Neil's quite new to VATSIM, and he's been making really good effort so far in learning the 737 and learning the airline away as well, because he's used to DCS flying jets and all that sort of thing, and very different way of flying.
52 Mike Juliet, autorizado ROM Puimicino, Morse Delta, pista 19, ascenso inicial nivel 75.
Here come the punters.
Morse Delta, por 19, inicial de 75 y 6232. Transporte, 52 Mike.
Boeing 52 Mike Juliet, colación correcta, información ATIS Charlie con H1011, llame listo para puesta en marcha y recorte.
Con H1011 y llame puesta en marcha y recorte.
Osprey 71 Alpha Golf, no further speed restriction.
No further speed restriction.
Channel 39er request push and start.
Channel 39er push and start, office approach facing west.
Please start the final. Facing west, Channel 39er.
Not yet. Okay, let's go in. New Sim Wings Menorca. This is nice scenery. Performance here is very good as well. Look at this. And ultimately for me, does it look great from the outside looking in as you're pulling up on stand? Yes, absolutely. Performance is really good as well. It does give you that nice level of immersion. It's nice being able to explore through the buildings as well. A lot of sceneries are now becoming solid blocks.
North 1771 Menorca Tower, hello. Maintain maximal approach speed for the moment. Number 2 for runway 19er.
Runway 249er, Nordic 1771.
Menorca Tower,
A lot of detail in this.
We are about to establish a laser for runway 19 as well. Traffic inside.
Look at that.
Locked.
Couple of little bits there.
North 1771, maintain minimal.
That's a good effort.
1771, what did you say?
North 1771, reduce to minimal approach speed, please.
This is somebody in the
Okay, roger.
FedEx A320, I think.
My speed?
Yeah, North 1771.
Which it's got a really horrible. Is it the FedEx? I'm not sure. If it is, it's got horrible AI replication where it keeps deploying the gear constantly over time.
4511, where are you calling?
We'll call Tomjet 4511 here. Establish ILS 19 as well.
Tomjet 4511, you are number 3 for runway 19er.
Roger, number 3,
this one looks like the Flybawar A32NX has got a broken AI model now. Or his gear's not down properly.
For the moment, maintain if possible 150 knots.
What is that?
Roger,
I don't know what it is.
knots for Tomjet 4511.
Okay, now the gear's coming out.
Look, our spoke to Sim Juliet Mike is establishing ILS runway.
Osprey 27 Juliet Mike Menorca, hello, maintain minimal approach speed, you are going to be number 4 for runway 19er.
Maintain minimum approach speed, runway 19, Osprey 27 Juliet Mike.
Looking good. It's vacating there as well, very nice on Delta. We've got 3 on final now. Everybody's bunched up right at the end, haven't they?
1771, the wind is 17009, runway 19er, clear to land.
19 cleared to land, Norsk 1771.
Osprey 71 Alpha Golf, welcome to Menorca, continue
That's
on
David,
Delta
awesome.
To
It'll be very tight for us.
Continue taxi Delta for 17.
Who's that? They are well high.
Osprey 27 Juliet Mike, please maintain lowest speed possible. Aircraft in front of you is descending through 2200 and is about half a mile in front of you.
We're reducing to minimum approach speed now, Osprey 27 Juliet Mike.
Tomjet 4511, no further speed restrictions, you're going to be number 2 for runway 19er.
Roger,
Christ, there's no way he's flying that on an ILS.
For Tomjet 4511, thank you very much.
It's like an assault landing in Afghan. Fly high, get the nose down, speed brake out, deploy it, get on the ground as quick as possible in the shortest amount of time.
Passengers deboarding started.
Put it on profile nice there, a little bit low there. The wire was just as bad. Oof, that was a hard touchdown, I think. What the heck?
Tomjet 4511, expect late landing, break, Norsko 1771, vacate as soon as possible, traffic on short final. Tomjet 4511, wind 20008, runway 19er, clear to land.
Copy on the wing clear runway 19er for Tomjet 4511, thank you very much.
121, match check.
Osprey 27 Juliet, Mike, go around, you are too close for the aircraft in front of you, proceed as published, please.
Yeah, going around,
brilliant.
Osprey 27 Juliet.
Osprey 171 Alpha Golf, you were told to stand 17, well, would you just miss it? Where are you going?
I apologise, I had stand 11.
Negative, I told stand 17, you can take stand 13 to your right.
There goes John.
Stand 13 right, apologies for that, Osprey 7 Golf.
And here comes a TUI with the split scimitar wings as well, very nice. Passengers are still deboarding on GSX. This is looking good. Bingo, right on the touchdown zone.
Bowling 52 Mike Juliet.
Adelante para el Bowling 52 Mike Juliet.
Still deboarding.
Mike Juliet, puesta en marcha y retroceso, Bravo encarando al este.
Puesta en marcha y retroceso encarando al este, Wally. 52 Tom Juliet.
Tomjet 4511, welcome to Menorca, taxi Delta to stand 23.
Taxi Delta to stand 23 for Tomjet 4511, thank you.
Oh, Neil, no worries. Oh, it was you doing the missed approach. Ah. These things happen.
Channel 390, request.
It's difficult on VATSIM because you have to try and
Channel 390,
you have to try and basically avoid
Juliet, Tango,
or work out your spacing as best as possible. Look at that for a screenshot.
Taxi via Juliet, Tango and hold short Tango 1 for Channel 390.
This about GSX is very, very good. Anyone else for final? Let's have a look on Volanta, shall we, folks? We'll see who's coming in.
Passengers bus is coming.
Wow, more passengers. Crikey. Let's see. Okay, just got John basically. Epic. Oh, hold on. 229 Papa is flying in, but they're not part of our pack. Ryanair 2205 coming in from Edinburgh. He's at the back of the pack. On Universe as well, quite far back though. I don't think he's on VATSIM either. No. So we've got 2 aircraft left. I could probably wait for one at a push. Obviously I've got to go to work at some point soon. Jet 2's on the way out so we can watch his departure, and in the meantime... Oh my god, how long's Navigraph been on the screen, folks? I have no idea. You know, I think maybe I turned Navigraph on by accident when I was supposed to turn on Volanta. Let's have a look at this scenery a bit more, shall we? There's the landside section. Turn the drone camera down a bit as well, speed-wise. And we'll look at various times of day.
Mahon Tower, Osprey 27 Julie Mike. Do you want us to go to Unicom to navigate for another approach?
Osprey 27 Juliet Mike, that is a firm. Monitor Unicom for the approach phase. Call me establishing once again for runway 19er.
Okay, monitor Unicom and we'll call established Osprey 27 Juliet Mike.
Very nice. Simwings, of course, make really good sceneries. Or flight sim. Balanced well on performance and everything else as well. And a good price. Performance is great here. Not a single stutter. And all of the solar panels on the car park boards. What else have we got here? A couple of road networks with, let's go whiz underneath one of these signs. Follow the Maersk truck. Oh, maybe not, he got shy. Hey, looks pretty good, look at that.
39er Sierra, line up and wait, watch runway 19er.
Line up and wait, runway 19er, Channel 390 Sierra.
No, I mean, I can see an aeroplane up there doing some stuff, but I don't know who it is. And this is, I think, the cargo centre. That's John.
Do you want to deboard crew?
No. Deboarding complete. I reckon, timing-wise, I could probably watch this Jet 2 depart. And then I might have to end the stream. Really nice airport this, isn't it? This Simwings Menorca. Look at the custom ground textures there on the apron. If you want to purchase it, the link's in the description as well, so you can get your hands on it via the Aerosoft store, the web shop. If we go to this view here, I'm just going to change the time of day. To a sunset. It's always a good test of the scenery.
The wind is 20008, runway 19 clear for takeoff.
Runway 19 clear for
and then night time.
Vueling 52 Mike Juliet, después de Tango 1, mantenga corta en November Lima, pista 19.
Mantenemos corto en November Lima, vueling 52 Mike Juliet.
He's starting his takeoff run. Neil, great effort. Oh, somehow that burst a tyre, brilliant. Ethan, it's not that much of a steep approach, it's 3 degrees. Off he goes. Oh, that's a tail strike. It's a shame we couldn't hear it. Imagine it made a heck of a noise. There we are. There's 2 left to come, but time is against me today, folks, unfortunately. So we have to have a little look at this control tower, because that's always a key part of the scenery. Looks like somebody's inside as well. That is an incredible staircase. Got to have a look in.
The next 39 monitor Unicom 122.8, have a safe flight.
122.8,
very cool indeed.
Gracias, hasta luego.
There we are. 2 left to come. John and Scott on the way down. And I've got to get ready for my night shift. Hope you guys have enjoyed the stream today. Edinburgh, Pyreegue Dev Co's Edinburgh scenery, fantastic scenery available on all Bex, Sim Market and various other stores, all the way to the new Simwings, Mahon, Menorca International Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator, complete with GSX at the end with a custom profile too. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you everybody who flew along. Welcome to all of our new subscribers, and I will see you in a couple of days. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Vueling 52